Mhm. Mhm. But I hope you're enjoying me making funny faces at myself. I'm gonna turn my camera off now.
Hello, hello, Jesse.
Hey Jay, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. Um, signing, I'll be signed in. I'm not in town, but I'm accessible. I gather you're some distance away, so
I'm in Oklahoma, but I see Nancy just popped in from vacation. That's a nice surprise. Looks like
yeah,
Bill's getting in here.
good. So we have critical mass then?
Did it? Well, I have one student that's trying to join and she's getting a weird message, so I'm trying to talk her through it. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
Let's see here. Help her out.
Nancy, where are you?
Florida.
You know, there's still snow out in the mountains, so
Not for very long if we have days like this.
Mm.
there's a decent amount. It was warm but not outrageous up here.
I was just out in my yard and I think it was 80.
Mm.
But I was working in the dirt, so it was worth it. It was great. There we go. Okay, well, I got everybody here, I think. Is our team fully assembled? We're waiting for Abe, and there's Abe. Okay. Very good.
All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm going to call us to order at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time and do a quick roll call. I'm Jesse, chair of the PRT.
I'm Jay Kita, part of PRT.
No particular order. Danny, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Danny Haynes.
Nancy?
Nancy, PRT.
Do you want us to go
Yeah,
to?
please go, Jeff.
Okay. I'm Jeff Wood, supervisor of the University Technical Assistance Program at UC Denver. Oh, come on. Come on, Justin, Ryan, jump in there.
Jessica Duarte, landscape architect with UTAP.
And Ren Golombiewski, landscape architect with UTAP.
I'm Abe Martin, architect with UTAP.
Hunter Walgren, the architect with UTAP.
So we have Phil and Paloma left.
Phil Runnings, landscape architect with UTAP.
I'm Paloma. I'm a landscape architect with UTAP.
And just for some context, both Phil and Paloma just started with our team this week. And so I just said, why don't you guys be flies on the wall and watch how we do it? So they're just observers.
Great. So we generally want to hit between 60 and 90 minutes for presentation tonight. Then our volunteers, including myself, knock off. So I'm going to turn everything over to you, Jeff. We're real excited to see what you and your students have come up with.
Okay.
The last time we saw concepts.
Thank you, Jesse. You and I spoke earlier today, and we kind of went over some stuff. The one thing I would ask is that I tried to share the screen. I was going to run our slideshow, and it says that the host has disabled participant sharing screen.
Yeah, let me figure that out.
Okay. There's always something technological, you know.
Right.
It would not be right if there wasn't.
I am going to make you a co-host, which gives you screen sharing.
There we go. Let's see. It sure does. Okay. Well, let's see. Now I got to set up the screen here. Okay. Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry. There it is. Yeah, boy, technology. What a great thing. It allows us to be like this, but it allows people like me to struggle when they can't find the stuff they were looking for. Okay. I'm hoping you guys see a slide that says Green Mountain Falls Pool and Park. Yeah? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. Is it? Oh, I know who's missing. We don't have Sophia, do we?
I'm here. Sorry, I was a little late.
Okay. Sophia, you need to introduce yourself. We took roll and you missed it.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Sophia. I am a Masters of Architecture student in my second year, and super excited to show you guys what we came up with.
So Sophia, you need to help me here technologically. Right now, I assume you guys are seeing the slide plus all the debris around it, right? I want to go full screen.
Just hit slideshow in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Is it working?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. 6:05 and we're there. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys a little brief overview of what we're going to do today. We have 3 or 4 schemes developed here. They're not 100% all the way because when Jesse and I agreed to have this meeting tonight, I was a little clueless and managed to schedule this the week before all my students have final reviews. And so they are all slammed right now. And so some stuff isn't quite as far along as we want it to be, but I guarantee you by the meeting on the 8th, it'll be completely wrapped up and we'll have, nice, pretty pictures and stuff like that. However, we did want to go through the concepts and make sure there's nothing that is not to your liking. What has changed significantly since our last meeting is it was brought to our attention that we had a well that we needed to work around. And I think all the schemes but one have dealt with that. And we're just going to not talk very much about the scheme that doesn't have that worked out. But I think, am I right, Sophia, that you're first? You are probably muted.
Sorry. I'm
Okay.
here. Can you hear me all right?
I can, yes.
All right. Okay. So scheme A, so Jess and I worked on this together. This is a welcome center and sensory park. I think Jesse, you may have seen this, maybe like a earlier version of this before, but we kind of fleshed this out a little bit more after seeing more of the survey results come in. So the survey results are really great in terms of like giving us insight into what what the people in Green Mountain Falls and visitors are interested in seeing. We were able to kind of like see that there's a little bit of an older population in Green Mountain Falls, and more than half of the respondents were in like a 1 to 2 person household. So probably single people or couples, and then only 16% lived in like a 3+ household. So assuming those like parents and kids. So really we wanted to make this space more enjoyable and like more geared towards like adult population, but with still also catering to folks with kids and giving them a space as well. In terms of the programmatic elements that folks were interested in, a significant number of respondents wanted like an expanded pool deck, a splash pad, and hot tub. So we made sure to incorporate that into our scheme. And then for pool clubhouse amenities, fire pits, concessions, outdoor patio seating area, locker rooms, outdoor grill area, and a pool house that can serve as a welcome center were highest rated for those amenities. So we wanted to make sure we incorporated that as well. And then we've heard from past meetings, year-round restrooms were a big need, and that was like number 1 on like the park amenities. So we made sure to include that as well in our building. So with scheme A, there's 2 different approaches. There's a 1 building approach and a 2 building approach. The 1 building approach came out, I think that's the one that you saw before, but the 2 building approach came out like after doing some more research on the well. So I'll go over that, both approaches today. And next slide. So scheme A is the 1 building approach, and this is the floor plan. It comes in around 3,500 square feet. We do maintain the well location. The well is located inside of the building, which could potentially be problematic in terms of kind of maintenance, but we wanted to show this here in case there's a possibility the well could be inside and just kind of hidden from view. The pump would need to be moved in this particular scheme, and then the buried building would be filled in. So if you're familiar, you're familiar with the site, the buried building would be kind of around the blue, orange, and purple area on this floor plan. But just kind of to walk you guys through this, the entrance is located where you see the green box, where the mouse is. That's going to be your main entrance, and it's going to take you to kind of like an open space where you have a museum to the left and a lobby and gift shop to the right. And then from there, you can kind of check in at this a service desk that helps manage both the museum and the lobby and gift shop. But you can also check in if you're going to just go to the pool for the day. So once you check in, you can exit towards the pool, and you'll see to the right, you have your lockers in the pink zones. And that was kind of in a response to one of the comments in the survey where someone had mentioned that they wanted to access the pool without having to go through the lockers. So this scheme addresses that. In the orange zone, right in the middle, that's going to be your concessions area. That can be serviced. The concessions are accessible from the pool side and also from the picnic side, kind of the front part of the building. And there's also a window towards the lobby and gift shop. So if you wanted a cafe during certain hours, you could grab a coffee and kind of just peruse the museum. Then in the blue, you have your year-round restrooms. Those are accessible from the outside. You don't have to go through the pool house to get there. Next slide. So this is just kind of a visual of existing structures. So you can see that the existing building this building sits where the existing building is now, just kind of expanding it. Then you'll also see the buried building to the right. Again, we're going to have to fill this in for this particular approach. And then the pump is sitting right in the locker room, so that would need to be moved as well. And then the well is inside this particular room. All right, next slide. Okay, so this is scheme A2 building approach. Again, this is taking into account the well and the pump and the buried building. And where it sits kind of on the site, it does break our building into two. So you now have kind of more of a welcome center and then a locker room area that's connected by what I'm calling a maintenance courtyard. It would be fenced in and not accessible by the public. But the pros here is that you do maintain the well and pump location, so you don't need that added cost of moving it. And it maintains the buried building, but with a smaller footprint. So again, this floor plan is very similar from the first one, just adjusting for that well and pump. You have your entrance in the green. It takes you to a museum and lobby and gift shop area. Concessions is still accessible from the pool, the picnic area, and from inside. And then you have your year-round bathrooms, and then your locker rooms are kind of just a separate building now. And then next slide. And then this is just a visual to kind of show you where do those existing structures sit. And as you can see for the buried building, it overlaps with the year-round bathrooms, but that portion would just need to be filled in. We can still maintain the buried building and just have equipment in that smaller space. The way that I'm kind of thinking about these two different buildings and then the fenced-in courtyard is, even though the two buildings kind of working with materiality of the two buildings and applying that to the fenced in maintenance area so that it does seem like one building, not two separate structures. Next slide. So this is the smallest scheme coming in around 3,700 square feet, right? So we're really minimizing that building footprint and maximizing kind of the outdoor spaces, because that was really what was important to, Green Mountain Falls residents and visitors. So we have the picnic area adjacent to the creek. That's this gray area with space for lawn games. That one on the left where the mouse is, that's big enough for a bocce ball court. And then on the right, you have some space for cornhole. You can kind of make this flexible lawn game space. The picnic area would have fire pits, plenty of picnic spaces, and then it's adjacent to the creek. So you can just go down the creek from there. We also have we're maintaining the drop-off loop and adding accessible parking there. We still have the main pool, and then we have the kids splash zone area. And then you can see between the left and the right, one's bigger than the other. The one on the right, we kind of shrunk a little bit just because there's not as many kids in Green Mountain Falls. So maximize more of the hot tub space for the adults. And then we have a grill area kind of central in that courtyard in the expanded pool deck area that kind of ties all of those zones together. And then as you can see, facilities in orange, it's just either you want one big facility courtyard or two separate facilities spaces. And then next slide. And just kind of going into like what we're thinking in terms of materiality and like the inspiration for Scheme A. We wanted to keep a very simple type of like building form, but explore kind of these vertical paneling for the wood to kind of give it like a mountainy cabin feel, but also a very modern contemporary feel as well. And as you can see here, one of the walls on the building, the one closest to the parking lot, lends itself to a mural because Green Mountain Falls loves this art. I think this is a great opportunity to have a mural here to welcome folks and a great photo opportunity as well. Next slide. This is the pool deck. Again, lots of seating and then also incorporating more other types of seating with like umbrellas to give more shade. And then you can see this covered grill area that really kind of brings all those zones together. Next slide. And then this is just the splash zone for kids. We're thinking more of like a nature play splash zone, still fleshing out kind of like what this will look like, but thinking of giving the kids like different spaces depending on, you know, how they want to play. If they're more social or more introverted, giving them more space. So this is really just an inclusive area for all. Next slide. And then for the picnic area, as you can see for these inspiration pics, we're trying to make like a cozy vibe, having a lot of seating for people to gather, and then maybe some trees to help spread out, break up the space a little bit. And then really incorporating a large outdoor fire pit that people can gather around. I think that would be a really great gathering space for folks. And then next slide. So now I'm going to hand this over to Jess and she will talk through the site plan.
Hello, everyone. Sophia and I decided to design a sensory garden. This will immerse the visitors into different aspects of nature. As you can see through the entrance, they come to this meandering pathway, and there's different little activities throughout these pathways that everyone can take part in. So there's a periscope that spins around and it looks into the trees. There's a spider crawl, an insect hotel, megaphones, balance board, and we included some musical swings as well. The Crusher Find path surrounds the whole site, and alongside that will be espaliered bushes and trees. That will create some reading nooks, but also create some separation of space between the neighbors to the south. On the right of the site is a dog park, and the site includes 3 shade structures for people to have picnics and just enjoy the park. The park is also densified with a lot of different plantings. Besides the soft and aromatic plantings that are in between the sensory garden, there's going to be a lot of shade trees and more bushes just to like create more nature within the park. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So here we're looking towards the insect hotel. We made it quite high so that people can walk around the path, but they can hear the insects flying around and not hopefully get stung by anything. On the left, you can see the balancing board, and to the right is the spider crawl. In the background is the periscope, and then you could see a little smidge of the shade structures and densified trees. We didn't include any of the bushes right now because I wanted you to see the pathways. Next slide, please. This is a little render of the shade structure. There's going to be 3 of them, and we tried to make it a little artistic, and in the future, it'll like kind of be reminiscent of aspen trees. Yeah, next, please. And these are the megaphones that kids can just stand near and listen to the sounds of nature nearby them. That's it.
Alrighty. Who is,
So
this is Hunter, right?
yeah,
Okay.
for this scheme, it has a lot of the same amenities as the previous one. The site plan itself is going to have a dog park, a community garden, a regular park, and then ADA access to the creek, and then a basketball court as well. And then the exercise pad is staying in the same location, and then also it accounts for the well and the pump locations. So this is a overview of the site. Starting from the top right, there's a dog park going down to the basketball court, and then the exercise pad that is already existing there, and then the community garden. And along that side, up top is diagonal parking that will, there's 5-minute parking for people to drop off for the pool or the park areas. And then the building with the pool deck and an extended splash pad, and then a hot tub area that I'll get into in the next couple of slides. And then there's also going to be a drop off near the park with the ADA access that will allow people just to do a quick stop and drop for anybody that wants to get out and play. And here's a quick a render of what the building can end up looking like. On the right side is going to be the museum reception area with a lounge, and then on the left side is going to be the check-in for the pool deck and area, and with extended locker rooms as well. And then in the front, there's going to be room for an outdoor deck, and then also it's right now it's a bocce ball court, but that can be like the previous scheme, it could be transformed into cornhole or horseshoes or anything along those lines. So here's a floor plan of the building that was just shown. As you enter in on the top right, you go through a gate that directs people either to the right or to the left, with the right side being that lifeguard check-in, and then also 2 public restrooms for hikers or anybody that's stopping by, so they don't have to go into the building itself. And then below those is the locker rooms. And then on the left side, as you enter in the building, there's going to be 2 interior restrooms with the museum and reception area. And then through that is the lounge with a place for everybody to gather and hang out, with a back kitchen that can both serve the lounge and then also the concessions for the pool deck. And then out front by the bocce ball court is the outdoor deck. And then going to the pool area, there's the pool deck that's already existing with an extended splash pad. And then where that hot tub area is, that's where the existing buried building is. So just building on top of that and being able to create an elevated place for whether it's adults only or for a hot tub area. And then that square right next to it is the well. So none of the well or pumps are affected by these locations. And the main building is around 3,500 square feet. And then that side locker room building is going to be around 1,200 square feet.
Abe, I think you're up. Oh, no, I'm up. Wow.
Yeah, you're
okay. Okay, we had a student design this and is not able to be here today, so I am going to try and walk through this. Wow. This scheme has not changed since the last time we showed it, and this unfortunately will have to be tweaked in order to accomplish the or accommodate the well and the pump. So we're not really sure how that's going to evolve yet. but this has all the things that what we started to add here, fitness area, which was also one of the things, and a massage and steam room, sort of a spa kind of thing. I'm not sure if it was the number one thing on the list, but there was several mentions of it, so we kind of added that in this scheme. The one thing I wanted to draw your attention to, we're using lounge and bar area conference. That's meant to be sort of an event space. We're not saying it's going to be a business, but like if somebody wanted to rent this for a reception, or businesses wanted to have meetings there or something like that, it was really meant to be a place of public gathering that would be open to different groups. So, and this is just sort of a quick glance at what the architecture would look like in this particular instance. Light and sort of mountain cabiny look to it with stone and wood and glass. And this is the accompanying site plan that goes with it. I thought there was some stuff that we needed to really talk about here. We've moved the playground very much into the front of the pool, like where the building is now, and that allows for the a terraced area that would allow for access to the creek. And in the more programmed area of the park, we have the dog park and musical swings, which seems to be pretty popular. We moved the multi-court area more out of the center area. We added pickleball court, could be badminton as well, and then a shade structure, and then a smallish but still fun mini golf area in the center with bocce ball and stuff like that. This was more an attempt to get some different kinds of amenities in there to see if, with public, I think all these schemes can be reshuffled in order to accommodate the uses that people want to see. I thought mini golf was kind of an interesting sidebar in that it can be kind of artsy at the same time as being sort of fun, and maybe inviting artists to help with features that went into the golf course might be a kind of an interesting thing to do. So, and I guess this is just a little bit more of a detailed drawing of that same stuff. There is a patio that's related to the concessions area, so that people could, if they're hiking or if they're wanting to watch kids play in the park or just want to hang out on a nice day, this area would provide a visual connection to the park area. I'm going to try to walk through what's going on at the front here. We have jacuzzi pool, a wading pool for kids, and then a splash pad, and then a terraced area that walks down to more traditional swing sets and probably nature play kind of area, and then the trail to the ADA path to the water would spring from here, and I think that's all I'm going to say about this, since I'm not the lead designer on this. But did anybody on my team have anything else to add to this? Okay. All right. So these are just some sketches. I'm sorry, this is the one that did not get fleshed out all the way, so this has been sort of frozen in time. But we're going to try and get it ramped up again, because I think there's some good things in it. I think that you guys know about this. So these are the musical swings. So when we make reference to it, these are the kind of things that we would have there. And so that brings us to scheme D. Now I think you're up, Abe.
Yes, I am. All right, so I guess first thing, the well is in kind of this bottom, you can't see the bottom right location, so the building isn't, the well doesn't affect the building placement on this one. We moved the building from where it sits on the south side now to the north side. We just thought with the site, there's some really nice synergy between the pool deck and then kind of flowing into the playground, into that river area, making a really nice, like, kind of water play area sort of on the whole south side, and then connecting that kind of the pool to the river. So we thought that was a good idea to move the building to the other side of the pool. Let's see. I did a scheme that has 2 floors, so it's a little bit bigger than the other ones that you've seen. A couple larger kind of rentable community spaces, public restrooms and gift shop, covered jacuzzi that's connected to the pool deck. It's in this little, you can't see my cursor, so anyway, it's there. And then there's a health club upstairs and a lot of kind of flexible outdoor space, especially kind of in that back pergola that is shown. So you can go to the first floor here. So entry is right off of Ute Pass Drive. We have Ren will show you the site plan, but we have street parking kind of here since the road sort of diverts a little bit and allows space for that. But entering into the building, I have this sort of trellis design that it's like a semi enclosure for the wall, so you can walk into this first sort of place and have your public restrooms there that are 24/7 accessible. And then walking into the building, you come right into the entry desk. If you want to go to the pool, you can go right down into the locker rooms and then south onto the pool deck. From the pool deck is this covered jacuzzi space to the left, and then also kind of a covered pool seating, kind of be a area that is out of the sun in the pool that connects to the concession space inside. Moving through, I have this spot here labeled as retail. It's probably more aptly like gift shop and concession space. So you want a Gatorade before you go on your hike, you can go run in and grab one there. Moving back, entering into the building, you can go up into this kind of lower event space that flows out onto this patio on the back side. If you wanted to have, there was some interest from the survey for like an exhibit space, that kind of thing, that can go there. Also in this corridor, there could be maps, like a maps kiosk, different trail maps and that kind of thing there. But we have on this lower floor too, potentially like an outdoor stage on that back patio. We know that you have the Arts Festival over the summer. I don't know if there's demand or a need for an additional space for something like that, but there's potential for that with this scheme. And then in that covered kind of back patio, there's a lot of opportunity for programming, whether that's grills or fire pits or, kind of whatever sort of comes together there. But so moving upstairs, the elevator is right off of the locker room space, and stairs are kind of, you're greeted with the stairs right as you enter the building as well. So then moving upstairs, the elevator kind of puts you right into the middle of the building. To the right is the health club. So I think in previous iterations, I've kind of had a sort of smaller locker room upstairs, and it just felt like a lot of extra plumbing and things that probably weren't needed. So by moving the elevator there, I wanted to make sure that the kind of the flow, if you had a workout and you wanted to go shower, you could just go right down the elevator right into that and not have to walk through the entire building. But health club, there's sort of an entry foyer, sauna and steam room off of that, and massage sort of spa kind of area below that, and then just a big open fitness spaces with machines. It could be broken up a little bit too if you wanted kind of a private yoga studio or something like that. There could be a little bit more intervention there. And then moving onto the left side of the building, you can walk up right up the stairs. There's restrooms upstairs, and then a second kind of upper event space with that bar there, and then a large covered outdoor seating that overlooks the pool and looks kind of south onto that big ridge that's over there. Another thing with these spaces, it doesn't just have to be events. If it's a Tuesday afternoon and somebody wants to go and work on their laptop, they can go make themselves a cup of coffee and go have a nice space to work, a nice public space to work. So maybe starting to build some sort of community that way and not just having it be strictly a rentable space. Yeah, that's kind of the building. You can go forward. This is just a view of what it could look like. Obviously, the fencing around the pool will be bigger, but I just kind of wanted to give a view of the entry space here. This is right off of Ute Pass Avenue. That's kind of where the rendering is taken from. You enter right into here, and this wood is kind of that trellis, kind of semi-enclosed wall that I was thinking about using, and then exposed trusses. I kind of wanted to give it. There was a lot of feedback that they wanted to keep kind of the rustic mountain feel to the building. I know that white sometimes elicits a strong reaction from people, so it doesn't have to be white, obviously, but that's just a nice base for a palette for rendering. So Yeah, that's the front. And then the back, this is kind of that covered area with potentially a small little stage there. And then on this back side, Ren will show you the plan, but we wanted to have kind of a green space behind it. So if you wanted to do, a movie night or something like that over the summer, you could do that in this back space. But I really wanted to have a lot of kind of flexible indoor outdoor space, considering that the building is sitting in a park. You wanted to be able to be married to that really well and not have, have it a nice synergy there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's sort of
Okay, so this site plan, first it was done with a different building footprint, but everything else will remain pretty much the same. I'll start on the right side. I'm gonna minimize this. I'll start on the right side. So over there we have differentiated small dog park and large dog parks because I feel like there's enough space for that. And then those existing pine trees I thought made a really charming area. So I thought adding some tables and shade and like a grilling area. Got rid of the basketball court, but kept the multi-court. And so that's existing, but probably improved. So you could put pickleball, basketball, tennis, whatever is wanted. The existing exercise installation stays. We have angled parking along the road. And then that was the open space that Abe was just talking about. That would connect, no, down, Jeff. Yeah, that would connect to the patio space so that it's a nice flow in and out of the park and the building, and it leaves some space for people to, it leaves it unprogrammed so people can do what they please with the park. And then something that was in the survey was year-round use of the pool area. Some people were interested in that. So in our scheme, we have an all-seasons jacuzzi that's open year-round. The pool deck will include shade structure, 2 different splash pads, one for older kids and then one for younger kids because they have different needs. There'll be a drop-off area right near the door of the building, as Abe mentioned. And then we thought that it would be nice to put the playground and the pool near each other, so it's this whole it's a whole thing of play, I suppose. And in the next slide, you'll see that I've moved the playground a bit to, oh, not this slide, but I've moved the playground a bit closer to the water to include water within the play. So here are just some playground ideas that I was thinking about. We'll just start. So a balance beam course that could go in and out of being over the water, stepping logs or stones that go over the river, a pump that brings water from the stream and then goes down something. It's something fabricated. It could resemble a mountain, or it could just be more like a river delta, but then kids can watch the water flow down. And then I was thinking about a magnifying table where kids could go grab stuff from the river and put it underneath this area that has movable magnifying glasses. So it's really exploratory, and that would be ADA accessible as well. And within the playground would be that ADA accessible ramp to the stream so that it's all incorporated into one. And then finally, I had these ideas of netting that either go diagonally over part of the river and kids can lay on it and watch the water go by, or one that goes up and over completely. So it's like a fun play bridge. And I think that's it.
That is it. That's the last slide. All right. Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments?
Yeah, I'll start. If you could go back to Jeff, I think it was slide number 2 in the presentation.
Oh, okay.
And I was just thinking about the way that we generally staff the pool or have to staff the pool, which with as few people as possible. So when I was looking at at this one. I think maybe having the concessions be the check-in desk in this venue might make sense so that we only have one staff person, and allowing them a sight line out to the pool, I think is important. So I thought that was a strong just something that I came up with when we were looking at this one. So I'm gonna just run through some quick notes on each one of the schemes, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
Um, so on scheme A, I thought this was a very practical approach, and use of the buildings made a lot of sense, and I really liked it. If I could read my notes, Nancy's not here to do that for me. On scheme 2, I really liked the site plan. Also the site plan in scheme C, I thought was very thoughtful. Scheme D, I think maybe the you know, this it's a large, not only a large footprint, but a lot of square footage. But I did think the architectural style of it sort of made it feel appropriate in the space. And then also the site plan on scheme D, I really liked all the thoughtfulness about the play area and how that could engage with ADA at the creek. I thought that was a really nice and a good use of our existing resources with the trees and the multi-court and the fitness court. So many things in every one of these that I love, and I don't know how we're going to put them in a blender and come out with that exactly, but
We will.
all really good. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Those are good comments. Anybody else have anything to add to that?
Yeah, hopefully my internet connection is okay and you're hearing me. This is Nancy. So I really like the ones, and I think it was scheme B that kept the basketball court or has a multi-purpose court.
Yeah, okay.
Because those are well used right now. You go, you drive by the park, there's either someone playing basketball or roller skating or something. They're using that, so keeping that is really, really good. Scheme A, I was not sure where the sensory garden is. Is that located
That's going to be out.
where other schemes have the dog park?
Right. I think the building is right here. Am I right, folks? The building would be,
Yes.
Sophia, the building is in this area, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have to be conscious of where the septic for Sally Bush is also. And I think the other schemes that have the dog park at the far end, I think that's sort of, if you don't want to put too much on top of that Sally Bush septic. Is that correct, Jesse?
Yeah, that's right.
And is that where the dog park is?
Yeah, that's correct. The north arrow is incorrect here. Apologies. But the dog park is on the north side where the septic tank would be.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'd rather be able to dig up a dog park than a beautiful sensory garden. That would not be a good thing. And then I really like the last two schemes where the playground is put on the other side of, where like the parking lot is right now.
Yeah.
And integrating the creek with that play area. My only concern is the creek watershed. I'm not sure if that has to be coordinated or anything done with that. What do you think, Jesse?
Well, my understanding of that creek is that we have some flexibility. We're not having to be in compliance with FEMA because it's a controlled flow creek. So I think we do have some opportunities there to play with the creek.
Yeah, I love the integration of, exploring the creek and having the water features and the exploration. I think that's really creative and engaging. I think that the kids would really love that.
Yeah, you guys own that water. Am I right about this? That water is a controlled flow that you actually own. Am I close to right?
We don't own it. It belongs to Colorado Springs Utilities, does it not?
That's right. Mhm.
But it's not a protected waterway. Like, I'm just wondering who's going to get mad at us when we put play stuff in the creek. I just want to know who our enemies are going to be.
Yeah, I think Colorado Springs Utilities would be our partner in that.
Good.
And it's not Fountain Creek that is protected.
Okay.
Yeah, the only considerations would be like flooding, thinking that piece, but that's getting way into the weeds. But I do like, as I said, the last two concepts where the playground is on the other side and is integrating the terracing. I think that's a great idea for having that play area over by the creek.
That also removes some of the current playground in that pool park is sort of stuffed off in the back corner, and it's not very accessible or very often used.
That's true. This would be more visible and engaging.
Yep.
And that's all I had. Thank you guys for your hard work. Really, really appreciate that. And good luck on all your finals.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to send them off on that yet. I wanted to ask, this is Jay Kita from PRT. Most of the buildings are incorporate the all-weather restrooms as part of the main building, which to me means that the whole building has to be heated and live through the season. In Scheme A version 2, I believe it was, there were two separate buildings. It struck me that it might be possible to separate the two of those, that the year-round bathrooms are part of a section that could be heated year-round, and the rest of the buildings powered down, like the locker room could be closed off and winterized during the winter.
You are asking a great question, Jay. Can I respond real quick? I think I interrupted you.
Yes.
Two things. That's pretty astute. I think that there was some pressure that people wanted this to be a year-round facility. Now, that's up to you guys to figure out if that's true or not. But I do think we could make, even if it was part of an existing building, we could have a auxiliary heating zone for those bathrooms, regardless of whether they were in or outside the existing building. We could deal with that technically, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. I'm just thinking it might reduce the expense of running the facility in the longer term.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. Okay.
Because the pool, probably as an outdoor pool, the pool would be shut down during, at the end of fall season.
But does that necessarily mean that the museum, gift shop and stuff would be closed, would be only open in the summer? Because it seemed like that, especially those schemes that had like a health club, those would want to be open year round, I would think.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. Just kind of looking at it as, here is a smaller scale approach, allowing us to select and tailor this to the available funds.
You're 100% right. I'm not arguing on what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say there's solutions to all these problems, but you're absolutely right. Sophia took the challenge of kind of paring this down to the minimum, like what would happen if we built a minimum footprint building and did away with the other stuff. So you're right, and I think we could probably look at ways to make that bathroom, the outdoor the year-round bathroom somehow not impacting the energy footprint of the rest of the building. So
Okay. And in scheme A, the dog park again is at the north end of the area.
Yes, that north arrow should be ignored.
Yeah, I see it now. Yes. That's all I had. I'm still digesting.
Hey, Sophia, we can send them a link to this, right? So they can look at it on their own.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
that'd
do
be
that.
great.
We'll send you a link. I meant to do that beforehand, but is this I well, is it made to share with everybody, Sophia?
Yeah, I can, as long as you have the link, you can access it, or if you want, I
Okay.
can export it as a PDF and Jeff can email it to you with whatever's easiest.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Jay, we'll get that to you today for sure.
Oh yeah, that'd be neat. Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments or concerns?
Danny?
I'm like Jay, I have to look at it and study it first.
Okay.
I'm good.
We could do that, I think. There's a chat function somewhere on this, right? Oh well, I was gonna say I could put the link in the chat, but I'll just send it to you guys. And would you rather have a link or do you want me to send it to you as a PDF? It'll probably be a pretty big PDF. That's why I'm scared.
Yeah, why don't you send a link, and if we need to convert it,
You can do it. Okay.
yeah, then we can do that.
Okay. All right. Well, so I was going to wrap up by just saying that we'll continue to develop these. If you have any comments or concerns that come to mind after you've looked at it, please, feel free to send me an email or whatever, and we would like to arrive at the May 8th meeting with we have 3 or 4 projects that you guys feel really good about, and I think Jesse alluded to the fact that we're going to have to somehow blend these together as a result of that meeting, and that's fine. That's what we do. And one of the key things, and I think you guys kind of answered this a little bit, was whether the building could be on the side, could be between the pool and the park, such that we could open up that area where the drop-off area where the parking lot is now, so that could be the playground and really bring the creek into the playground, into the play world. And it sounds like you guys are on the same page on that right now. It's not non-binding though. We're going to still show both approaches, but I think that's a pretty important toggle in terms of like what people want to see. So
Yeah.
all right, well, I will forward this link to you straight away, and we can we can continue the conversation via email if you have anything to talk about. And when we arrive at the 8th, we will send you our email. We'll send you this slide deck prior to that, so you can see exactly what we're going to show the public, if that's good. I mean, if you want to do that, because I don't want to go off on a tangent that you guys say, wait, what? All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you got?
No, just a huge thank you to all of the work that went into this. We really appreciate it, and I know the citizens are going to be excited to see things that were important to them in the survey wind up in your drawings, and just appreciate that a lot.
And Jesse, we talked about it earlier, but just so we keep it on the in mind, you mentioned a couple of events that are coming up this summer with regard to the in town, and we would either at your discretion either have an exhibit, a display that we could be at. We could do a booth, a place like that. We don't have to decide now, but we're amenable to any of those things, whatever you think is going to get the word out best. So
yeah, there are 2 great opportunities, and one is the Green Box Arts Festival, and the other is Bronc Day. And having a booth or a static display with someone there who can talk up the project, would be amazing.
We will plan on doing either and or both of those. No
That's
problem.
That's
Okay. All right, everybody. I really thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, very cool ideas. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys. We'll
Thank
talk
you.
later.
All
Bye-bye.
right, I am adjourning us at whatever time it is. 6:54
6:54.
PM. Thank you.
Okay. You will.
End meeting. There we go. Bye, Danny.